Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, how do you survive with, everything that's going on? And I'm not talking about just in a physical sense, because we talk about that pretty much in every video, at least a little bit of the things that we need to be doing to get ourselves prepared physically. What about mentally? What about the psychological preparedness? And that's something that we want to talk about with also a few physical things in this video, because with all the heightened of everything that's going on, that a lot of people, they're afraid. I mean, that's just the cold hard truth, is that people are becoming very afraid. They're afraid the economy's going to crash. They're afraid of cyber attacks. They're afraid of nuclear war, World War III, all of these things that are certainly within the realm of possibility right now because of everything that's going on. It causes a person to kind of could lose control of your emotions, become very panicked, and eventually that can lead to a kind of giving up. It's just too much and I'm going to give up. And so we want to guard ourselves. That's all part of prepping. When I talk about psychological preparedness, that's a big part of what I'm talking about. And so I want to talk about that today and a few other things along the way. Before I get started with that, I want to mention, I have a Patreon channel. If you're interested in joining that, we've been having some pretty blunt, hardcore discussions over there on Patreon. Some of the content that I put up over there is a little bit more edgy, I guess you could say. I mean, I do it as if I'm just talking to you face to face. And I'm putting up content there that these are discussions that need to be talked about. And sometimes they're a little hard to talk about it because of what they are. But if you want to go, there's a link down in the description below. It's only $1 a month to get you in the door. So, things are crazy. And I see people kind of in both spectrums, and when in the prepping world, the preparedness world, okay? There's people that are just like, this is nothing. This is just more hype. It's not really affecting us here in the United States. Don't worry about it. To the other end of the spectrum, where it's, oh my goodness, the nukes are about ready to drop on us. We've got to get in our bunkers, get under our school desks, and take shelter because the end is here. I mean, it is Armageddon. And the reality is we fall somewhere in between that. And I want to show you some things on here. This is just something that I come up with. We'll get to that here in a minute. But things are not good, okay? We have to face that reality. People say, I've seen comments that, it's just all doom and gloom the last week. Well, there's been a lot of bad stuff happen. And we need to get ready for it because we have turned a page. We've rounded a corner of another phase of this takeover and this push towards the new world order. And so we have to be ready for that. But we also need to be careful of not to use up all of our energy too soon, and pace ourselves on the emotional and psychological side of getting ourselves prepared. Don't panic. I mean, we just can't do that. That's why you're doing what you're doing. I know some of you are relatively new to this. Maybe you're younger and you've not experienced a world in so much turmoil as it is right now. We can survive this, and no matter how bad it gets, if you keep your wits about you, your odds of surviving this and having a really good outcome greatly increases. And that's why preparedness is so critical. It is an insurance policy for when things bad happen, okay? And so don't lose control of yourself. Don't exert all your energy all at once, because as we've seen with this health crisis that's lasted 2 years, all this stuff that's happening, it's not just going to go away soon. We're in this for the long haul now. And the idea that by this summer or by this fall, that this is all going to go away. The economy's all going to be back. Inflation will be down. Supply chain will be moving again. Health crisis will be over. It'll just be like normal as can be. It'll be like, 2015 or 2019 all over again. Highly unlikely that that's the case. These events that are taking place now and that have taken place over the last couple of years indicate that All this that's going on is in for the long haul. And in fact, these elites, they tell us that this is the great reset, and this is their goal. So we have to pace ourselves through this. We also need to put things into a little bit of perspective. And again, this is just me making some stuff up, okay? Over here, let's put normal, and I have horrible penmanship. My mother used to tell me that when I homeschool. My wife tells me that now. Over here, I don't know if you can see it. I'll have to scoot over. Let's say this is, well, if my marker will work, Book of Eli. If you guys have seen that movie, you know what I'm saying. It's Mad Max. It's Armageddon. It's bad. So there's our spectrum, okay? Let's just say that approximately right here, man, a marker's failing on me, folks. There we go. This is the pandemic. Pandemic. Okay. It was bad, but it wasn't Book of Eli bad. Okay. Let's just say that we'll put some marks over here, there, maybe there, maybe there. Okay. Maybe this is World War III. Maybe this is a grid down. And maybe this here, maybe this is the nukes. Okay? And that the distance there, don't worry about that. The point is that's over here. We right now, I would guess, are probably close to somewhere in the middle, okay? Maybe not quite that far over, but we're definitely past this, and we're somewhere in this spectrum. This is all my guesstimation, folks. And what I'm trying to do is trying to put this into perspective, that we need to get ready. We need to be prepared. We need to be ready to go at a moment's notice. But we don't need to be so tense because we think we're in this area right now. Is it possible that there could be a nuclear war? Let's just use this as an example. I think that the possibility has increased. I don't think that Putin would use those unless he felt it was done, that he was completely in a corner and that he had nothing left to do. There was no more cards to play, that he knew he was going down, and he wanted to take everyone with him, or as many as he could. And we're not at that point yet. World War III, we're getting pretty close to that, with all the shipment and of arms and stuff into Ukraine. That could spark World War III. So we're getting to that. And maybe World War III needs to be closer to over here. I don't know. This is just some examples. I'm just trying to put it in perspective that we're not here yet, okay? We're not here yet, so we don't need to be so on edge that we're an absolute terrified, and that we're losing sleep and we're unable to eat, and we've just given up all hope. Because what happens is, as this drags out, if we maintain that, people can't maintain that. Even warriors in battle, they can't maintain that constant heightened, battle ready sense. They have to have some downtime. And if we try to maintain that because we live in so much fear, we'll eventually burn out. We'll eventually lose hope. We'll eventually say, I can't do this. And then what happens is it becomes so bad and so dangerous for us that we're no longer even aware of what's going on. We're not even trying anymore. So we can't allow us to get to that point of thinking that we're in the Book of Eli, Mad Max, Armageddon, because we're not yet. I think we're traveling down that road. And eventually, at some point, that's probably where we're heading, especially if you read the Bible. We don't know how far along we are, but we're definitely on that road. So I wanted to put that into perspective, just to kind of gauge and pace yourself. Don't get all caught up, but yet we still need to be ready. I don't want to downplay it so much that you're like, oh, really? Well, then I'm just gonna chill and go back to life as normal. No, we're not life as normal. Remember, here's the pandemic, here's normal, and we're over here. We're moving along. Economy's not doing good. Prices of stuff is going up. Not good. Okay, which means we need to be in an elevated sense of of awareness, and be aware of what's going on, and be able to move at a quicker pace if things got really bad. Because see, here's the thing. The way things are going, and the further down this road we go, the chances of us going from here to boom, into this area quickly is much more likely. Okay, the tenser things get, the ability for us to pick up this pace really fast is more likely. So we have to be ready. We have to be mentally ready. We have to be getting our homes ready. That's why I keep pushing. I've been pushing pretty hard to keep preparing. But don't just stay in that constant state of just absolute fear, because if that's the case, then there's not really much of a point in being prepared. And above all, we have to have faith in our Father, because we're in His hands. We always are. We know how this story plays out and who really wins in the end. So we have to continue that faith. And in a physical world and mental world, we can't let ourselves constantly dwell that we're in this right now and that all is lost. That's not true. We can still prevail and still have the ability to survive all this. Now, as far as the physical world of what's going on, things are getting bad, and we gotta continue to prepare. I think probably one of the first things that we are going to feel from all of this is probably fuel, because that's happening right now. As of my video that I released yesterday evening, I've had a lot of comments, people saying that they're already seeing gas prices and stuff go up. I had someone email me that works for the fuel industry, on the wholesale side, and in the Midwest, and they were giving me some information. And yesterday, their prices, what they were selling, their wholesale price increased at 12 cents a gallon. And as of this morning, they increased in an additional 13 cents. So 12 cents yesterday, 13 cents today. Diesel, excuse me. Diesel was 26 cents yesterday, and they raised it again 22 cents additional on top of that this morning. Now, these prices that they raised, they told me that this was before the markets opened. And if you haven't noticed, crude oil went up to $113 a barrel. And I remember last night we were talking about it breaking $100 a barrel, and that the possibility of it hitting 120 by, say, the end of this month. Well, we're at 113 now. It's still trading, active trading, and so it's come down and gone up, and it's doing the little roller coaster, but it's certainly staying within that 110 range, okay? It's not coming back down and to 100 or below. It's staying within that 110, and so you can pretty much say we're at $110 a barrel right now. And so prices, I'm sure tomorrow will go up again. A lot of analysts are saying that we're in a hard recession at $120 a barrel. I'm not an expert, I don't know, but I'm just saying. Federal Reserve Chairman said today that it's uncertain, that they're uncertain if this whole conflict of the total impact and how bad it could get on our economy. It's like he's trying to soften the blow and sugarcoat things when everyone knows this isn't going to go good for the economy, folks. Something I was thinking, I've mentioned this before, and I had someone email me, so I'm going to just go ahead and say it again. Wheat prices are going up, and unless you don't eat bread, maybe you have celiac disease or whatever, most people eat a lot of bread. And I'm telling you, the best way to do it is to buy just wheat, okay, your wheat berries. You can look online. The last time I bought, it's been 3 or 4 years since I've bought wheat berries, because when I buy it by the truckload. When we buy wheat berries, we buy, several hundred pounds, because it's not just for preps for us. And wheat berries, if you vacuum sealed and everything, they're going to last probably till you die. You keep them dry, cool, and vacuum sealed. They're 20, 30 year plus shelf life. But we also use it. We actively use our wheat, so we buy a lot. Anyways, the last time I bought it was at an LDS, Latter-day Saints store. You can check if you get on their website and just search. I think they're called LDS. Deacon's store or Bishop store. Someone leave a comment and correct me and tell me, maybe if you can, even leave a link of how people can find this. You don't have to be Mormon to go to these places. And they're just scattered around the United States. Like the closest one to me is in St. Louis. So that's something that, we'd have to plan a trip to go up there. Usually there's at least one in every state. And they sell bulk food, because if you don't know this, the LDS are like the godfathers of prepping. And so you can go there and you can purchase it. I don't know what they're selling their wheat for right now. Like I said, the last time I stocked up was like 3 years ago, and it was cheap then. But that's an option. You can also buy it from other suppliers. I'm just giving you that. There's also what you're going to need is a way to produce that into flour. You need a grinder. I'll leave a link to a company that we bought ours from. I have no business relationship with them. I have spoken to the owner a few times. It's a small family company, and they hand make their wheat mills, their grinding mills here in the United States. It's hard to find it. You're not going to find, if you do a normal Google search, they're not going to come up because they're just a small company. We bought one. We absolutely love it. It was a lot cheaper than a lot of these other ones. They can be several $100s for a good one. This one was a lot cheaper, and it works great. I'll leave a link to this down below, and I'll warn you, because they're a small company and they still kind of, for the most part, kind of hand make them. It takes a little while. This ain't Amazon where you order it today and you get it in a couple of days. It takes a few weeks to get it. But they're still going. I'll leave a link to that in the description. That's an option, and that's upgrading quite a bit, because this stuff's going to last. And when you buy it in whole wheat, it's so much cheaper. And like I said, I don't know what a 50-pound bag or whatever goes for right now. But it's still pretty cheap, and it doesn't take much to stock up on 200 or 300 pounds of wheat. You can probably, I don't know if is it $25 for a 50-pound bag, $20 for a 50-pound bag? I'm not sure, but $100, you can have quite a bit of wheat. That's a lot of food. So that's a serious option. Just keep getting ready. Revisit all of your plans, whether your plans are in your head or they're on paper. Start revisiting them. What are your plans if there was a grid failure? Okay, what are your plans if there's a cyber attack and you can't access your money and there's communications go down? What are your plans if there is a nuclear attack? What's your plans? Revisit those, because remember, we're not here anymore. We're not here yet, but we're working towards this, okay? Will we ever get here? I mean, like I said, according to the Bible, we probably will at some point. Is that days, weeks, months, years, decades down the road? Can't tell you. But we're certainly pointed to that direction. So revisit what you would do in those cases. And then also in just a complete economic collapse, what would you do? Revisit those, talk to your spouse, write some stuff down, do a little research, get ready, because again, we're on that path. We're not there yet, but we're certainly on the path, and we'd be fools to not take the time now that we have while things are still seemingly normal and get ourselves ready. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.